Hi, hello, good afternoon, everyone. In the today's class of our robotics, we'll be discussing regarding different types of sensors that are being utilized in the robot at different phases for commencing the different activities and giving the feedback signals to the controller and passing the signals from the controller to different parts of the robot for exercising the necessary actions as per the programming feeded to the robot. And even the different types of actuators which are being utilized and how the actuators are being driven on what different modes these actuators are being driven will be having the detailed look in the today's class. Initially, coming to the robot sensors. Sensors are the devices which will be passing the message or sensing and measuring the geometrical and physical properties of the robots. So the present physical conditions, not only within the particular existing element and even its surroundings up to the maximum stipulated range of the particular sensor. That what we'll be calling work envelope, that the robot upon its complete extension mode, the work that has been done by the robot throughout its surroundings is called the work envelope. By the end effector of the robot, when it is in complete extended mode, the work that is being done by that particular robot throughout its surroundings is called the work envelope. Here, different works for different works, the robot sensors will be utilized. And as we have been seen in our working agitation, the position sensors indeed to specify the exact position of the object, orientation with respect to the position in the theta fluctuations or different inclinational levels, and velocity sensors need to verify different at what range or at what speed the vehicle is moving. Coming to the acceleration point of view, upon increasing the resistance, whether the force of the vehicle as an output is being increasing or not. This will be clearly identified by these sensors. The distance, different geometrical shapes and sizes, the force, movement, temperature sensors, luminance sensors, weight sensors, etc. These are the pictorial representations of these ultrasonic sensors, which are worked based upon the sound waves. The sound waves will be detected by these ultraviolet sonic sensors by passing through the medium and examining to how much depth the rays are being moved. The echoes are being produced. Infrared sensors identifying the internal structures of the objects or the range of the objects based upon the above parameters. the position, orientation, distance, identifying the geometrical specifications, temperature detections, etc. by utilizing the radiographic technologies or radiographic processes. Touch sensors, and upon giving a particular pressure manually, the sensors will sense and give the feedback to the controller at what force that has been entered on that particular sensors. And based upon that, the sensors will energize for different kinds of tasks to be exercised in the robot. Here, there are some of the pictorial representations related to different kinds of sensors. These are different types of sensors utilized in various fields of the robots. Let us see here accelerometer, and this is a microprocessor which has been stored with respect to the program. The program which will be writing will be stored in this microprocessor, and there will be the input pins and output pins for giving the signals from the input to the writing program to energize the program, and the exercised results or generated results after programming commencement will be fed to this by these pins and will be guiding to particular actuators to energize. And gyroscope, pendulum resistance still sensors, piezo bend sensors, touch switch, Hall effect magnetic sensors. These are all of the electrical different kinds of sensors that will be utilizing in robots for different tasks in order to reduce the human effect in the processing of work or in the commencement of work. Basically, these sensors has been classified into two different groups. First one, it is internal type of sensors, and secondary it is external type of sensors. Coming to the point of these internal sensors, these sensors have the capacity to obtain the results that are being done only within the parts that has been installed. ఏదైతే మనం సెన్సర్ ఒక రోబోట్ ప్లేస్ లో పెడతామో అక్కడ వరకు మాత్రమే సెన్స్ చేసి ఇంటర్నల్ టు దట్ పర్టికులర్ రోబోట్ ఓన్లీ ద ఎంటైర్ రిజల్ట్స్ విల్ బి జనరేటింగ్. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ లింక్ 1 లో కనుక మనం ప్లేస్ చేస్తే లింక్ 2 అండ్ లింక్ 3 కి ఇన్స్ట్రక్షన్స్ పాస్ అయినాయా లేవా, ఇట్ విల్ బి గివెన్ యాజ్ ఎ ఫీడ్బ్యాక్. And what is the force that has been given as an input, it will be getting verified and give the feedback to the controller. How much orientation or inclination the links are being moved, end effector is being energized, either grippers or concerned tools has been installed, and based upon the installed conditions, whether the end effectors are working properly or not, these sensors will give the feedback signals to the controller for better actuations. For better actuations. Next thing is an velocity sensors. Acceleration sensors and velocity sensors. So acceleration sensors, nothing but increasing of its resistance or increasing of its speeds. Coming to the velocity sensors, is also rationalizing the movements of the objects. Coming to the examples of these internal sensors, position sensors, specifying the position, velocity sensors, acceleration sensors, and these are the pictorial representations of acceleration sensors and velocity sensors. Second classification, it is the external sensors. So external sensors have the capability of not only detecting the factors within the robot, and even it can detect the its surrounding areas feedback also, and what are the conditions that are being existing in and around the robot can be identified very much clearly. For that, the best examples are cameras that will be fixed at the end effectors, and these cameras will identify or capture the different conditions or different places at different places. And range sensors, these are the infrared trace sensors, IR sensors, that is infrared trace sensors. Large scale range finders, which are having the capacity of traveling its radiations to a maximum length. చాలా లాంగ్ డిస్టెన్స్ లో కూడా ఐడెంటిఫై చేసి క్యాప్చర్ చేయగలుగుతుంది విత్ అన్ గ్రేటర్ రెజల్యూషన్, which we will be calling as an high megapixel. Next, the ultrasonic sensors. Ultrasonic sensors, by utilizing the sound waves, will be identifying different results. Contact and proximity sensors. So contact type and proximity sensors. For the best examples are photodiodes, IR detectors, RFID tags, touch, etc. So without having the contact, this RFID tag will reveals the entire results. If you have been observed by our road transportation department also, this RFID tag is compulsory. ఏ కార్ పైన చూసినా కానీ or ఏ హెవీ వెహికల్ పైన అబ్జర్వ్ చేసినా కానీ this RFID tag will be existing. So this will be having a small microchip which will be having the entire registration details on it. Registration details. If you have been scanned that RFID tag, automatically in which area to which area that car is belongs to, and in whose name that car is being registered, what is its his or her address, and overall the characteristics will be getting revealed by this RFID tag. By that, the difference can be identified. So and so this vehicle is belongs to that particular registration strategy, and presently where that particular car or vehicle is. Coming to the point of this force sensors, measuring the interaction forces within the environment. For example, a vehicle is in the static position, the vehicle is being or the machinery is being rotated. Force sensors in the sense at what range of speed it is being rotated based upon the increasing of the forces. Here almost BEEE lab లో ఎక్స్పెరిమెంట్ కూడా ప్రోగ్రెస్ చేశారండి. దట్ ఈస్ నథింగ్ బట్ two-phase mode of operation of the shaft and three-phase shaft orientation. Another DC shunt motor or AC shunt motors. So ఇలా ఎక్స్పెరిమెంట్స్ కూడా మీరు చేశారు. రియోస్టాట్ capability, resistance increase చేసే కొద్దిగా RPM rotations of the shaft speed will be increasing. So force sensors, by increasing the pressures or the forces, that will be calling in our mechanical language implication of the load. Implication of the load. As rotations జరుగుతున్నప్పుడు load కనుక మనం అప్లై చేస్తే automatically the speed will be getting decreased. So at what effect, even though the resistance is being increased, by the application of loads, the rotations or RPM of the motor is being decreased. So at what forces the RPM is being decreased? What is the minimum condition, maximum condition, and intermediate at different points? We can examine very much clearly, and those feedbacks can be captured by this external type of sensors. And even present days, tachometer plays a major important role. Tachometers, we need to find this RPM. In the older days, we used to get this tachometer in contact with respect to the rotating shaft. So that is a contact type of tachometers. With the present days world, IR sensor will be placed in the tacho generator also, tachometer also. We need to find the RPM or speed of the motor. By pressing only the switch of IR sensor, the rays, infrared rays will be falling on that particular rotating element, and the reverse, it will be examining the RPM and displaying in the screen. Coming to the position measurement. Internally, we will be having a detailed look of sensor functionality and where we will be utilizing this particular sensors and on what basis these sensors will be getting worked and what are the results that are being generated by these sensors will be having a detailed look. First one, an optical encoder is used to measure rotational angle of the motor shaft. It consists of a light beam, a light detector, and rotating disc with a radial grating on its surface. This will be having a example. It's an optical encoder. Position sensor, optical encoder. So this is the pictorial representation. The LED light will be focusing from this place, and this rotating shaft will be having deviated with respect to the different lines for different circular interpolations towards it. So this is then one diametrical disc, and this is another diametrical disc, and which is inserted with respect to a shaft, and these are the deviating lines to which opaque will not be getting formed, right? And the line spacing. So this is nothing but the cut beams. Cut beams, a low signal output will be generating. When the light rays has been continuously passing, this dark section will not allow the light to pass through it, and this white color segmentation will allow the light to pass. If this is the major constraint, how many rotations has been taken place is nothing but after completing of entire one rotation only, again the light will be getting passed. So that will be counted as one rotation. When the light that is being passed through that particular hole after entire the rotation of the shaft, then only again the light will be getting passed through that particular hole again, and it will be counted as one rotation. So likewise, how many rotations has been taking place by a dynamical motion of the shaft can be counted by this emerging light rays. This is called optical encoder. And the responses will be existing in three different pulses range. Once again, there are three different phases of signals. Phase one is an A train of pulses, which is having a stereo representation with an intermediate cuttings. Phase B, a train of pulses, which is also will be similar with slight deviation with respect to the square wave generation. Phase Z, a single pulse per turn, that is identification. Only you have been seen the diagram, it will be very much clear. Only one hole will be existing. After complete rotation, only again this light rays will be allowed to that. So that will generate the single step turn, single pulse, only then single pulse will be generating. If there is any number of n number of opaque generating situations and number of holes, and throughout these all the holes the light rays will be getting passed, and in this way the n number of signals will be generating. So here clear cutly see this visualized ones is not allowing the signal, so hence it is an no signal allowing. Secondly, this is the first hole that is being entering the light rays, passing the light rays, so one pulse is being generated. Next one, another black color indication, it is not allowing the light rays, so hence there is no any triggering elements. And again the second one, second allowing of the light, so second trigger is passed. So wherever the light can be traveled through the medium, this white color holes, then this triggering will be energized, the pulse will be getting generated. And these black color orientations, wherever the black color orientations are existing, that doesn't allow the light rays, and hence no pulse will be generating, and this will be in zero mode. This will be in zero mode. There is the digital output, will be getting the square wave representations, right? And the phase difference between A and B is 90 degrees. And with respect to the Z, the reference angle is zero angle. Just we have been discussed. There will not be any pulse generation, because only throughout the revolution of the shaft will be having only the one light allowance. Next thing, optical encoders, the resolution of measurement is denoted with respect to S is equal to 360 degrees by number of lines or spaces. Spaces in the sense here, which allows the light rays to pass through that particular alignments. Right? If there is a smaller resolution, we'll be having the better measurement. That is the status of optical encoders. So optical encoders is a good example related to our mechanical automobile factor also. That is nothing but gearbox alignment. Gearbox alignment. So here it is the motor will be aligned to the gearbox, and gearbox to the robot link. So robot links are exercised like this. So there will be a robot link, and it will be linked with respect to the gearbox, and gearbox will be directly attached to the motor. And if the power supply is given to the motor, and motor shaft will be getting rotated, and that power will be transmitted to the gearbox, and gearbox to the robotic link for necessary orientation or circular interpolation or moving in a sliding motions. So how many motions we have been characterized? Sliding motions, rotatory motion, and revolutionary motion. And by this motor will be having this, can be having only the two different conditions, either of the rotatory condition or revolutionary conditions. Orientations towards the clockwise or counterclockwise. Second thing, it is movements with respect to a particular inclination towards the positive theta or negative theta. And velocity is measurement. Velocity is measured with respect to the using of position sensors based upon the position with respect to the time. So from one place to another place, the position will be getting changed depending upon the velocity, or and if the velocity has been variated, the position also will be getting variated. So different advantages. This is very much simple to calculate, and without using the additional sensors, quickly the result will be getting generated. And the only disadvantage or limitation with this is noise signals will be producing, because the low pass filter is improving its accuracy. Right? In order to avoid this or overcome with respect to disadvantage, the low pass filter will be utilized for improving the better accuracy. The internal sensors, gyroscope plays a major important role, which will have the fixed orientations in the frame. There are two types of mechanical and optical type of gyroscopes. that is mechanical gyroscope and optical gyroscope. First one is an accelerometers. Accelerometers are used to measure the speed with respect to the inertial frame. And majorly it is utilized in the application of static objects in order to get the vibration analysis and full angle systems. It is used to measure the inertia force that is being generated when the mass is affected by the change in velocity. If the accelerator in an automobile has been increased, the speed of the vehicle, that is, but velocity will be getting increased. So if single person mass is changing and so mass changing అంటే యాక్సిలరేషన్ ఇంక్రీజ్ చేసాము అంటే స్పీడ్ పెరుగుతుంది, వెలాసిటీ పెరుగుతుంది. సింగిల్ పర్సన్ ఉన్నప్పుడు సేమ్ యాక్సిలరేషన్ 40 km/h ఇస్తే ఎంత డిస్టెన్స్ మూవ్ అవ్వగలుగుతుంది. అలాగే ఇంకో పర్సన్ లోడ్ అయ్యారు, సో మాస్ ఇస్ వేరియేటింగ్. ఒకళ్ళు వెళ్ళాల్సిన బైక్ ఇద్దరు బైక్ మీద వెళ్తున్నారు. సో ఇనీషియల్ గా సింగిల్ పర్సన్ సేమ్ 40 km/h యాక్సిలరేషన్ ఇచ్చినప్పుడు 2 kilometers velocity, nothing but 2 kilometers journey distance కవర్ చేశారు. అదే మాస్ ఇంక్రీజ్ అయితే ఇద్దరు లోడ్ అయినప్పుడు లోడ్ ఈస్ గెటింగ్ ఇంక్రీస్డ్. ఇద్దరు మనుషులు ఉన్నప్పుడు simultaneously it is used to cover only 1.8 kilometers. So decreasing in its distance. So those will be clearly identified with the accelerometers. So indeed to compensate that 0.2 kilometers, the acceleration should be increased furtherly. It may be increased to 50 km/h. So ఎందుకు అలా జరుగుతుంది? Because the force may change the tension of the string, deflection of the beams. If it is in the static observations, vibratory frequency of the masses. And even the force sensors, the force sensor in the sense due to the application of the load, the objects will changing its positions and deflecting from original position to the other position due to the strain that has been created. It is clearly specifying in the formula, that is delta L, that is changing in the length to the original length because of the load implications. So hence those will be calling as a strain gauges. Due to the strain induced forces, forces is nothing but stresses, the strains will be produced in the object and that will deform to its changes in the position. Torque sensors using the shafts for identifying the RPM. Nothing but tachometer is the best example of torque sensor. Range sensors used to identify the time of flight, triangulation, the distance to how far it is being existing. And here transceiver plays a major important role. Transceiver, that will be calling as an one of the type of sensor which exhibits both the signals, transmitting the light rays and receiving the light rays. So dual factors are being guided by the single element. So emitter and receiver, both activities will be getting done by the same. So nothing but the IRC range, tachometer and tachometer, which is having the digital mode, digital tachometer, light rays pass out, rotating element and the speed rotate out, again signal is getting given feedback. So అక్కడ మనం యూటిలైజ్ చేసేది ఏంటి అంటే టైప్స్ ఆఫ్ సెన్సర్స్, ఇన్ఫ్రారెడ్ రేస్, ట్రయాంగులర్ యాజిటేషన్స్, అల్ట్రాసానిక్ సెన్సర్స్ యూటిలైజ్ చేయొచ్చు, టైమ్ ఆఫ్ ఫ్లైట్ క్యాలిక్యులేషన్స్, లేజర్ లైట్ కూడా యూటిలైజ్ చేయొచ్చు ఫర్ ట్రయాంగులర్ agitations. So these are the range of sensors. Without going to a particular place or in contact with respect to the material, we can find the results by standing at different place. So touch and proximity sensors. So touch sensors in the sense it should be very much in contact with respect to the measurement and measuring alignment. Proximity sensors does not give the distance, but it will tells the existence of the object, whether it is being existing or not, is there or not. What are the best examples regarding the typical types of sensors? Proximity sensors, photodiodes, touch sensors, and RFID detectors. Whether they are existing or not will be clearly specified. This is the infrared trace detector. When IR emitter is being passed on the IR radiance, and IR will be getting detected, and there will be a battery connected towards it. If the obstacle has been identified, it will be blown with respect to the LED light. Or else, if there is no any obstacle behind this, automatically it will not be getting blown. LED will not be getting blown. So that is the situation. No obstacle and obstacle. Photodiodes, it generate the current or voltage, and its working principle regarding the touch sensors in a working mode. When the force has been applied on that particular switch, then the energy will be in contact with respect to the LED, and then only the sensor will highlight in the form of its intensity of the light. When the force has been applied touches, then the electricity will be getting passed from the battery to the light, and neutral will be always in connectivity. Positive will be when the switch is contacted, then the connection will be made, and then the signal will be getting passed. Those are the touch type of sensors. Upon application of the force only, those will be activating. Tactile sensors. The main aim of these sensors is to change pressure force to the resistance change. So pressure is nothing but application of the force. Based upon that, the resistance will be getting changed. And what is the structure? Depending upon its active area or spacer and flexible substrate. Those are the different types of sensors, internal sensors and external sensors utilized in the robots. Coming to the actuator points, we are having four different modes of actuators in driving factors. First one is the electrical actuators, hydraulic actuators, pneumatic actuators, and mechanical actuators. So others and mechanical actuators. There are four different types of modes. Coming to the point of these hydraulic actuators, these drive the remote joints by utilizing the pressurized oils and waters. The nominal pressure it is operating pressure within the environment, it is 1 bar of the pressure, and greater than the pressure it has to be operated for commencement of heavier objects. The main advantage of utilizing this hydraulic actuating is high power output and smooth operating of the machineries without any noises creating, because we'll be utilizing the oils. Oil itself acting as the self lubricant, and hence additionally lubricant is not required in the case of this hydraulic actuation for better accuracy generating in the hydraulic actuation. But there are some of the disadvantages, because difficult to control, because the low accuracy, difficult to control, it leads to the low accuracy, slow response, slowly it will be getting lifted and slowly it will be getting contracted upon piston and cylinder movements. There will be in greater in size, because the oil tank should be existed, compressor should be existed, so the motor should be existed for imparting the pressure to the fluid, and equipment setup. It occupies the much space, and hence automatically will be having in big size, and dirt will be getting elevated at an output. Early robots in the ancient days have been utilized in hydraulic, but presently electro-pneumatic system plays a major important role in the present world. This is a hydraulic circuit system that drives the oil. See, is the oil reservoir, and utilizing the hydraulic pump for imparting the pressure, pumping the fluid, and this is the valve. If the valve has been opened, then the fluid will be getting driven by the valve operating, and by that the oil will be getting entered into this particular range, and it lifts the punching press piston from extended position to the contracted position. Meanwhile, already entered fluid in the other side will be getting retracted to this way, and this will be again driven back to the oil reservoir by filtering, because when you have been entered into different mediums, different channels will be having the generation of dust particles. So those dust particles will be filtered out, and the filtered oil will be again driven back to the oil reservoir, and same oil again will be pumped by utilizing the pump to commence the movement of the cylinder piston arrangement from top dead center to the bottom dead center, and from bottom dead center to the top dead center. And this direction change will be commenced with respect to the shut valve operating. So directional control valve we will be calling as, and this is the symbolic representation of the directional control valve. And this will drive, and this is the first position connecting the forward movement from bottom dead center to the top dead center, and this is the second position, return valve from top dead center to bottom dead center, the contraction position. Coming to the new pneumatic activations, pneumatic actuators. These are the robots joints operated by utilizing the pressurized air or gaseous mediums. The major advantages of it is only the normal atmospheric air can be sucked to the compressor, and filtration, FRL unit, filtration, regulation, and lubrication will be provided. Because in the case of this hydraulic, if you have been verified, there is no need of any lubricant, because oil is being passing. గేర్స్ కూడా ఇక్కడ ఏమీ కూడా పంపులో స్ట్రక్ అవ్వండి, ఎందుకని ఆయిల్ మాత్రమే ఎంటర్ అవుతుంది కాబట్టి. సో స్ట్రక్ అయితే మనం ఏం చేస్తాం, ఆయిల్ అప్లై చేస్తాం ఫర్ ఫ్రీ మూమెంట్, దట్ ఈస్ lubrication process. So here in the case of this hydraulic, no additional lubrication is necessary, because oil itself has self lubricant, but air lo వచ్చేసరికి self lubricant is not accessing here. Additionally we have to provide the lubricant, because air will itself consists of the moisture, water content. So water content, air oxidation process towards the any kind of metal element rusting form అవుతుంది. So in need to stop that rusting conditions, those conditions, the cleaning and small need to avoid those happening of conditions at internal walls of the piston and cylinder arrangement or movements, obstructions. The pneumatic system will be provided with respect to FRL units for a filtering process, regulating in the sense increasing or decreasing the pressure of the air, and next lubrication providing. Additionally, the essence or edible oils will be utilized, and due to the high pressure of the air, there will be stick to the external walls of the cylinder piston arrangement. అంటే ఇక్కడ cylinder piston arrangements లో external walls. So external walls అంటే ఈ piston వచ్చేసరికి దీన్ని బేస్ చేసుకొని స్లైడ్ అవ్వాలి కదా. సో హైడ్రాలిక్ అయితే ఆయిల్ ఆల్మోస్ట్ ఇక్కడ ఎంటర్ అవుతుంది, అండ్ విల్ బి హ్యావింగ్ స్మూత్ మూమెంట్. అదే ఎయిర్ అయితే will be having moisture and rusting ఇక్కడ పడితే, and hence friction will be getting developed. So free movement అనేది జరుగుతుంది. So in need to avoid that, additional lubricant is provided. That lubricant will be stick to the outer walls because of the high pressure generation, and movement of this piston and cylinder arrangement will be very much fine, right? And we are having some of the disadvantages also. This is also difficult to control, and random actions, చాలా స్పీడ్ actions అనేవి జరిగిపోతూ ఉంటాయి. Coming to the point of this electrical actuators. In the case of this electrical actuators, stepper motors are utilized, DC motors are utilized, AC motors are utilized, and servo motors are utilized. Major advantage by utilizing of these kinds of motors are small in size. It's a very much small in size and easy to control, and fast response will be getting generated. It will be very much clean. But disadvantage వచ్చేసరికి hydraulic system లో generate అవుతున్నంత high energy This pneumatic cannot be generated or electrical cannot be generated. So hence even electrical also low power output will be compared when compared to the hydraulic actuators. So mechanical actuators. So the motion transmission with respect to the gears. So driving wheel ఒకటి, driven wheel ఒకటి. Automatically the power which is being generating with respect to the generating shaft to the greater shaft, driving shaft and driven shaft, and they will be in contact with the parallel by mating with a correct ratio factor, the power will be getting transferred. This is a mechanical linkages, and this is one of the example having the directional changes for power transmission. So exactly 90 degrees లో direction change కావాలి. సో ఇది వచ్చేసరికి చూడండి ఇక్కడ వర్టికల్ గా ఉంది అండ్ దిస్ అ హారిజాంటల్. So power transmitting from one direction to another direction. So this is a bevel gear system, exactly 90 degrees. So this is a mechanical mode of aspect. And motion transmit to the belt drive system, and దీనిలోనే చైన్ కనుక యూటిలైజ్ చేస్తే చైన్ డ్రైవ్ సిస్టమ్. సో చైన్ డ్రైవ్ సిస్టమ్ వచ్చేసరికి మనకి ఎక్కువ వెలాసిటీ రేషియో వస్తుంది. ఎందుకని? బికాస్ విల్ బి హ్యావింగ్ డెఫినెట్ ఫ్రిక్షన్ లెవెల్స్, మెయింటైనింగ్ ది డెఫినెట్ ఫ్రిక్షన్ లెవెల్స్. దట్ సో belt drive, chain drive system, rope drive system also. They're already kinematics of machinery detailed, the mechanisms of its movements. And these are the different driving factors utilized for movements of different links and joints in the robots. The tomorrow's class will be discussing further.